All
right.
Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Gabriel Garcia from Expert35. Thank you for joining us today live at Expert35. This is one-stop source for up-to-date information, sound advice, and reliable expertise. And man, we could all use a little bit of that right now, can't we? Our team of professionals spans 35 industries and are leading experts in their respective fields. Expert35 is always here to answer your questions and here to navigate a new way of doing business. You ask, we answer, solutions for a new tomorrow. And there's no better expert than who we have today. Expert 11, Keveney Evanne. How are you today? Thank you for joining.
I'm doing well. I'm excited to chat for a little bit this afternoon.
Awesome. Keveney is a leading expert in personal growth and performance mentor. You fuse spiritual law, ancient healing, and cutting-edge science, and you help people avoid burnout. What does that mean? Tell me more.
Well, it means that I practiced law for 10 years and I was burnt out and I decided to do something else. So while I was in law school, I actually worked on a Navy base in Newport, Rhode Island. And so I studied a lot of the research on peak performance and flow as it related to some of the things that they were trying with Navy SEALs at the time. And so I always had an interest in that. And then somewhere along the line, life happens and you get burnt out. And I was 10 years into corporate and I had my dog had a massive seizure and I kind of had an awakening. And so that's where it was born out of. And now I help other professionals that were in my situation 4 years ago.
Wow. What a shift, right? And now obviously we're in a new shift. We're spending a lot of time at home. We got the kids, we got the family. We're on this overload of like doing this balance. Like, how do you see, everything changing and how are we coping with these changes?
Yeah, I think it's day to day and week to week sometimes. And I've definitely seen patterns and trends over the past 4 weeks. We're in a time of deep change. The planet's changing. We as a species, humanity is changing. And we're kind of being called to connect to ourselves more, do some of that soul work, as I call it. And really create new, discipline and routine. We're all kind of toddlers. So the more routine and discipline we can have, that's something that I've been helping people to create in our new, lack of a normal.
Right.
Just kind of looking at, we're going to have interruptions every day and that's part of, our evolution. And that's part of what, we're kind of being forced to not be creatures of habits like we have been for a while. We've been in a pattern that isn't really sustainable, I think.
Well, and I mean, obviously we're live. I think I can hear your dog in the back.
Yeah, of course. Sleeps all day and then, yeah.
Right, and so
live and she barks.
Exactly, and that's important, right? Yeah. So actually, look, we've got one question popping in right now. Facebook user, how can I work from home efficiently when I have my kids around me all the time?
Yeah, I don't have any children, so I have dogs that bark when I'm live. But that's one thing I've been helping clients with, really giving yourself some grace and, allowing, we're just kind of knowing that every day is going to look a little different. And the more pressure we put on ourselves to keep on a certain schedule. And so whether it's, let them play outside a little more or let them, just do things. I think one thing I've seen a lot of my clients doing is starting the morning out, especially if they're little kids, taking a mid-morning, like play outside and play hard because it kind of just helps them to be a little more still the rest of the day.
Right. So you're saying structure it more or also have like unstructured time? Like it's kind of like a balance, right?
So I think we need to have discipline, right? We need to have some sort of discipline, but so it might be, like having as close as we can stick to, we know that if we can go to the bed around the same time every night, that helps us a lot, physically, emotionally. And so if we can have some structure to bedtimes, wake up, get up in the morning, take a shower, just washing your body clears energy. And so just having those things, but then as the day goes on, we say we're going to do this from 10 to 11 and 11 to 12. It's like, I think of it more of here are the things that I have to get done every day and time block it that way versus having to do everything at a set time.
Right. But at least have a schedule, because that was
Yeah.
what work was doing for us, right?
Yeah, kind of know what are the things that I am required to do every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that a lot of people are asking is like, well, you're like this peak performance, you're helping, you mentor. Are things changing? How are you working now? What are you doing to address that?
Yeah. So with my high level clients, one thing I've changed that is changing is we're looking at, I do some business coaching within my personal growth. And so we're looking at different ways for them to pivot their business. And, whether it's, I'm not an advocate of everybody doing everything for free right now or just dumbing down their services. I think there's ways to take something that you have that's high level and take chunks of it and do it in smaller pieces. So some of it's restructuring, but really it's a lot. The people that are coming to me now are people that want to create harmony and order.
Yeah.
And so it's with it, and we have to start with ourselves first, right? So it's doing a lot of the deep internal work, looking at our own congestion, like where are we going into past stories? Where are we creating drama and trauma? So it's really helping to clear a lot of that interpersonal stuff.
For sure. And actually, this is timely. One of the users is live right now says, what self-care are you doing during this time? So what are you doing right now, Keveney?
Yeah, for me, so for sure, take a shower every morning, right?
Nice, good. I showered
That's
today,
important
good.
because I see these Facebook posts where people are like, I don't know the last time I'm showered. I'm like, this is not good. But for sure, showering every day, every morning before I even do anything else, getting outside, walking the dog, just getting some of that fresh air. And we've been so fortunate in Houston with the weather. And then, giving myself different days are different, but giving myself a solid, hour or two every day to whether it's meditation or doing, clearing or just doing energy work on myself, reading a book, just, building in some time for us and getting outside. And then we'll talk a little bit more, but what we put in our body is as important as, the people that we're around or not around right now.
Right. So it's difficult times, obviously. Things are changing. You're telling us good information on like how to give the structure back. But what's the silver lining between this whole, like the world shut down and we have to do this?
So I really believe that, we, for hundreds of years, we humans have been going around very bound to the earth. We've been 5 sensory beings. We're very attached to what we can hear and see and smell and touch. And now we are evolving, and we're evolving. A lot of experts are talking about it in terms of evolution. I kind of think we're kind of remembering some of the spiritual faculties that we've forgotten.
Okay. I like it. I like that.
So if you look at, ancient civilizations and things, so we're connecting more to whether your word is universe, God, source, energy, Brahman, whatever your word is, we're connecting to something bigger than us. And that is part of what is required. And so we're moving from being very much in our first 3 chakras of fear, doubt, and worry. And we're opening some of the higher ones. And we're even getting, we're ascending into having a more clear connection with our intuition, having more access to all that is, was, and ever will be. And so really that's the silver lining is we have been gifted, and the gift is time, right? So yes, we're working from home. We're not commuting. We're not going to all the things. So we have the gift of time, and it's super important how we use it. I don't believe now is the time to, bliss out on Netflix. Yeah, you can do that sometimes. But it really is, there's also a massive channel for people to exit the earth plane right now. And a lot of people are leaving, right? And so what we do with this time is really important in thinking about it of who do we want to be in the world and planting seeds for who we want to be and what we want to create on the other side.
Right. And I think that's like the perfect reasoning why like you're on the show right now. Thanks for being on the show. One of my favorite parts of the show is 3 things. Tell me 3 things. We got live viewers. Actually now, oh my God, it's building up. This is great. So talk to the group and tell them 3 actions they can take right now, I guess, other than shower. We got shower
for sure. So stay hydrated. Water's a conduit for energy. So Lifeforce, energy, drink a lot of water, and eat light foods. And when I say light, I mean foods that contain light. So fruits, vegetables, if you if you are a meat eater, maybe cut back a little bit, or just even if you want to eat meat, add more veggies and fruits because it raises your vibration. It's going to make this a lot more peaceful to get through. Another thing is get outside every day. You know, whether it's just you, your family, get outside, walk, sit, move your body because it moves energy in your field.
Yep.
And then last one, be mindful of your thoughts. What we think must grow, law of increase. So if you're scared and worried and fearful, that's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So be mindful of your thoughts. And if you notice certain emotions coming up, like gratitude, thank you, it's coming up to clear, where old patterns are emerging to be cleared.
Very good. And I'm gonna ask you to put those in the comments so people can actually see them and put them in there. So we'll do that afterwards.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a quick, little shameless promotion. This is Expert 11. So you text Expert 11 to 844-337-8100. You'll get her contact info, and you've got a meetup coming up, right? And that meetup is gonna showcase. Well, how often do you meet up? Talk a little bit about your meetup.
Yeah, so typically the meetup is once a month, and it's generally at my actual office. It's been virtual, and so I've been doing them a lot more than just once a month. Sometimes I'm doing it every week. I have the next one is Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. They're typically Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central. Anyone is welcome. It's a Zoom call. We start with a 15 to 20 minute clearing and meditation, and then you're welcome to jump off, or stay on and just kind of talk about whatever's on our minds and our hearts. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I think it's been super interesting hearing from you, understanding how to clear, understanding how to build that structure. We'd love having you on the show, Keveney. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'd love to hear more from you guys, from the people in the audience. Again, this is Keveney. You have got all her info. We're going to put it all in the notes. Thank you for being with us. This is Expert35. Keveney, be well, stay healthy.
You too.
And everybody following us, please social distance and be well. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Expert35 and Keveney. We'll see you guys soon.